Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a fantastic day. I have another round of candle reviews to share, so that's what we're doing today here on my channel. There are 3 reviews that are going live throughout the day today. We're obviously kicking it off with HomeWorx Be Mine in this video, but I will also be reviewing another HomeWorx candle a little bit later on. And then the last review today will be of a new to me candle company. So if you are interested in my home fragrance related content and you are not already subscribed, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button before checking out of today's video. That way all of my future content will pop up in your subscription feed. But yeah, we're going to be reviewing some HomeWorx Valentines candles today. I do want to be very upfront with you and just let you know that I did receive both of these in PR from HomeWorx. I was really particularly grateful that they sent me the 2 candles that they did because I had actually planned on purchasing them. So I am definitely excited to be reviewing these. They are both scents whose fragrance notes really appeal to me. Now, this Be Mine candle is very, very familiar to my nose. But the other one I feel like is definitely, I don't think that's a repackage at all. I'm going to be getting into what I think Be Mine reminds me of here in a minute. But before we do, I will go ahead and link where this is available in the description box right below the video here. So if you would like to purchase this, it's available at the Rakuten & Co website. You can use my discount code MelanieP, just the letter P at checkout, and that'll save you 15% off of your purchase there. But if you are looking for a set of 2 of this particular fragrance, it is also available over at QVC, so I will have it linked there as well. But yeah, check out the description box for those links, but let's go ahead and get into it here. So I am going to go ahead and read through the fragrance notes. I'll tell you what my nose picks up, and then I'm going to tell you the candles that I think this one reminds me of. I personally really kind of feel like this is a repackage, maybe slightly tweaked, but I really think that this smells like some other candles that I've had from HomeWorx in the past. So anyway, let's go ahead and dive in here. I am pulling up the website right now, so let's find these. Okay, so scent story. Will You Be Mine? Raspberry jam, warm shortbread, and vanilla bean is mixed with the sweetness of old-fashioned lemonade to create this irresistible scent that is sure to make your heart skip a beat. So the fragrance notes are raspberry jam, warm shortbread, old-fashioned lemonade, and vanilla bean. All right, so also, if you scroll a little bit further down on the Rakuten & Co website, they do give you some more in-depth fragrance notes. So let me just kind of read through those. They're divided obviously by top, middle, and bottom notes. So the top notes are raspberry sugar, lemon zest, and sweet strawberry. The middle notes are rose hips, old-fashioned lemonade, and rose water. And then the base is warm sugar crystals, sweet shortbread, and vanilla bean. All right, I really feel like what I'm smelling here is a tweak, a slight tweak, if you will, of either raspberry Linzer cookie, vanilla currant biscotti, and raspberry, is it coconut snowball? Yeah, so those 3 scents, and now this one, all smell very, very similar to my nose. I do realize that the fragrance notes that are listed for each of those individual candles are slightly different, but when I'm smelling this one, I really think that it is kind of a maybe ever so slightly tweaked version of those other 3 scents. I actually just got done melting my very last vanilla currant biscotti, which was one of the originals that came out, I believe, in 2018. I had purchased a couple of sets of 2. Actually, I think that one may have been paired with another HomeWorx fragrance. Was it Limoncello Cupcake? I wish I could remember that far back, but my memory is kind of failing me right now. I think it was probably packaged with another fragrance. But anyway, when I first got the vanilla currant biscotti, I really didn't love it a whole lot. And so the ones that I had left in my collection, I just kind of let them sit there for years. And I finally decided to go ahead and melt the very last vanilla currant biscotti. It was either last month or the month before, so it was pretty recent. And as soon as I lit this candle up, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, am I burning or melting vanilla currant biscotti again? Like, it just was so familiar to my nose. And then I looked back on a couple of my older reviews of the raspberry linzer cookie as well as the vanilla currant biscotti. And I really kind of feel like all of these scents are definitely within the same family. At the very least, I think they're within the same family. But there are other people who do not think that this is anything like those other fragrances. So I don't want you to just take my word on this one. This is just something that I noticed, and we all kind of perceive fragrance a little bit differently. So keep that in mind. But when I smell this, I really feel like the raspberry note that is listed here smells a little bit more like a red currant note to my nose. Maybe like a mix of like a red currant and maybe a strawberry, more so than a raspberry. There is strawberry listed in the top notes that I read through, so that would make sense there. But this raspberry sugar or raspberry jam that is listed, really, I think maybe smells a little bit more like currant to me. Now, it's kind of funny because I have a real aversion to currant, or I have had a real aversion to currant for much of my adult life. It just reminded me of somebody in my life that, you know, I didn't have a great experience with. The fragrance and memory connection is just so strong. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way. So when you smell certain things, sometimes you will think of certain situations, events, or people, and if those memories aren't super pleasant, you're not going to be crazy excited about, you know, maybe those particular fragrance notes. But I do find the older that I'm getting to be, the more I am expanding my fragrance tastes. So I actually really enjoyed the vanilla currant biscotti when I was melting it. But let's just go back to these fragrance notes here. The shortbread note, I think is really also similar between all of those fragrances that I mentioned. There's just this kind of yummy, but maybe slightly generic gourmand note that floats through all three that could either be a shortbread or like a cookie or maybe even cake type note. It's just a sweet, like edible gourmand, right? So shortbread would make sense. The lemonade is kind of interesting because I don't feel like I get a lot of lemon from this one. In fact, a lemon wouldn't be something that I would, you know, even really mention if I didn't actually know that it was listed in the fragrance notes. Rosewater, I guess you could say there is a very kind of faint, diluted, more traditional type rose in the way background of this one, but it's not super prominent, so it's probably not really worth mentioning too much. There is a vanilla that definitely runs throughout, that's for sure, and it is very sweet, so you know, those sugar crystals make sense, but the citrus maybe not so much. Yeah, I don't get the lemon zest or the old-fashioned lemonade. It is yummy. Listen, this is a great scent. It is delicious, but I feel like it is a version of something that I've had before. I'm not hating on that. I have said many times before that I don't mind a repackage. In fact, I'm kind of a fan of that because there are certain things that I fall in love with, especially when it comes to some of my favorite brands, and being able to repurchase those things in the future after maybe they, went away for a little while is amazing. I love that. I know some people just want all new, but I'm a fan of repackages, and I feel like this is just a version of some other things that Harry has done in the past. So I love it. I think it's delicious, and honestly, I'm thinking about picking up another one. This is definitely, I think, a great take on a Valentine's type fragrance because it's a gourmand, and I think gourmands make sense around Valentine's Day for sure. But yeah, it's a good one. And the fragrance itself, 2 thumbs up. I think it is done quite well. I just think it smells kind of familiar. So there's that. The strength and throw. This has had a pretty good performance for me in terms of strength and throw. Obviously, you can see that I am at the halfway point based on where the wax line is there. So the strength has been very consistent from the get-go up until this halfway point, and I expect that to remain the same for the rest of the candle. I don't see why it would change. So the strength, I'm gonna give about a 6.5. I would say it's a pretty solid medium strength. The throw is probably just an average of 6. It's absolutely a room filler. Travels a little bit outside of the room where I'm burning it, but it's also not one of those fragrances where I have to be super careful about what I'm necessarily burning on the opposite end of the house, unless what I'm burning over there is super strong and it's gonna like migrate towards this one. And if it doesn't make sense to burn alongside a gourmand like this, then I would obviously have some problems. But if I have another candle that is in the similar range of strength and throw to be mine, I could definitely burn both of those at opposite ends of the house, and they wouldn't necessarily like mingle too much, if that makes sense. The downstairs of our house is a little bit more open concept. There are higher ceilings down there. This room here, which is where I film most of my beauty related content, I can tell you this feels a little more potent in here in terms of strength. I would bump this up to a pretty solid 7 in this room here. This is just kind of an average sized bedroom, I feel like, so it definitely has a little bit more oomph in a smaller space like this. So if you have a more traditional home or you have lower ceilings, you're gonna get more out of this in your home than I did in the downstairs of my home here, I feel like. No issues with my wicks. You don't get really big mushroom tops with this one. The wicks do that little leaning thing that HomeWorx candles seem to like to do these days. It's not a big deal. I do limit the burn of my HomeWorx candles to right around 3 hours. And doing that really helps me avoid, I feel like, a lot of the pitfalls that can happen with HomeWorx sometimes. Luckily, most of the scents linger for a little bit after I extinguish them, but usually if I am not working at the studio and I'm home, like I will rotate my candles pretty regularly, but I do notice that this one definitely lingers after I blow it out. It's a yummy scent. I have really been enjoying it. I see myself wanting more of it. The wax is a really pretty light pink color. So I think I might go ahead and the next time that I make a purchase at the Slacken website, pop another one of these into my cart. But what I may do after Valentine's Day here is peel this label off. While I do enjoy these, chalky little hearts. They really do taste like chalk. It's a very specific Valentine's label, obviously. So, and I really love the color of the wax. It's a beautiful light pale pink. And so I think for summer, it would be great to just have another one of these where I can peel that label off and just enjoy that beautiful pink wax. So, yeah. No real burn issues here to talk about. I like the fragrance. I think the strength and throw is good. So if you're interested in this one, I give it 2 thumbs up. Again, I'll have it linked down below. I would love to know what you think of Be Mine. Let me know if it reminds you of any of those other fragrances that I mentioned. It may not, which is totally fine. Like I said, we all perceive fragrance a little bit differently, but I think this just smells really, really familiar to me. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. Remember to hit that subscribe button before you leave if you're interested in more of this type of content. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.